are live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure my mic is on. Settings are good. Perfect. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the channel. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery to the missing. And thank you guys so much for the happy birthday wishes. That means the world to me. The big 4-1. Super excited. And before we get started, a couple things we're going to go over, but we are going to focus on Micah Miller's case. There's some new videos of JP and some news and some updates we'll go over. But a couple of things we want to go over real quick before we get started. And one of them is we may have somebody on the show maybe next week. I still have to talk to him, but we always like to give back by featuring missing people at the beginning of the show. And today I'm going to feature James Yablonsky. He went missing last year, and so I'm going to play his story real quick. It's just a minute and a half video about his case here, and then we'll get into Micah.
New tonight, the father of a missing Sauk County teenager.
And I'm going to be reaching out to the father of James this weekend. And again, I'm not sure. We may have a show with him, or maybe he'll just give me some details, and I'll just do a story on him. But anyway, here's his case real quick, and then I'll get right back.
New tonight, the father of a missing Sauk County teenager is asking the community to help him find his son. 13-year-old James Yablonsky left his home in Reedsburg early on June 12th, ditched his family's van on Highway 12, and headed into the woods. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office says Yablonsky might be trying a survival mission.
The van's gone and James is gone. He's got my phone.
I knew something was up. And then you can actually hear me on the camera outside screaming and hollering. You get the kids up and just freaking out because I had no phone, no way to call anybody.
And stopped at his dad's business in the Dells twice. After that, the timeline gets a bit fuzzy.
And then we were able to track his movement through electronic data throughout the county.
Officials from all over Wisconsin combed through this area looking for any sign of James. Now that's because we know he parked the van here on the side of Highway 12 near Baraboo before disappearing into the woods where he... During their nearly week-long search, investigators found a campsite.
100-ish yards to the west of Highway 12 up a real steep hill, kind of leveled off up on top, and that's where the belongings were found.
And what's found there?
So there was bags and some clothing, some hygiene items, and then the cell phone that belonged to his father, Bill.
Then I think he was coaxed into leaving.
From there, he feels someone picked James up.
I just want somebody to call and say, look, he's here, you know, or if somebody's holding him, turn him loose. Send him home.
In the months since he's been gone, James has missed his first day of 8th grade. His father, Bill, has missed James' 14th birthday, and now they've missed Christmas together. Bill says every day is spent missing his son.
And this is just such a tragic story, one of many, of course, when it comes to missing persons. But in the story, he says that, each day there'll be days where he wakes up because he has other sons as well, and he'll call all of his sons' names, including James. And then, one of the other sons will remind him, hey, James has been missing. So really tragic story. And so hopefully we'll get to tell more of it. His father believes it's possible that he was coerced by somebody to go. So he was going to go drive into this Devil's Lake area and then get picked up by some random stranger, or not random stranger, but somebody that had been supposedly talking to his son, because he was kind of perched up not far from the highway, 100 yards up on kind of like a bluff overlooking the highway. And of course, when they went to go search for him, they found the camp, but he was nowhere to be found. And he had stolen his dad's phone, so they believe he may have used that to contact somebody. And of course, the phone was left at the camp. So really strange. And again, hopefully, depending on either if we have them on, but we'll learn some more details. But from what I understand, Bill, the father, feels like law enforcement out there isn't doing enough, and we're approaching almost a year since he went missing. So, of course, we try to do as much as we can when it comes to the missing, and giving them a voice and a platform. So we'll be giving some updates over the weekend about what's going on with that. So I'm going to get to chat here in just a second, but I wanted to, because we're going to talk about Micah Miller, but I just wanted to show this. Pause it real quick here. Sure, some of you guys have heard about this. I'm a huge astronomy guy. And if you guys haven't heard, the sun is very active as of now. It goes through cycles. Gosh, if I can get this thing to behave with me. Here we go. I believe this is a recent shot of the sun, but it's been making its rounds on Twitter as the sun goes through certain cycles. And I forget the years. I don't know if it's like 4 or 5, but there's certain periods where the sun is more active, and then certain years where the sun is less active. And we are now reaching a part of the sun's life where it is now peaking up. And we now had just had some major solar flares, and so much so that there could be some communications going down. I don't want to, spread fear or anything, but, these solar flares could be, could be dangerous. I don't think, it'll be too much, hopefully. But, it's always good just to be warned about it. But anyway, apparently we're going to be able to see the northern lights. And this is what I wanted to get to, this picture right here. So tonight, Friday night, you'll see the red area, because usually northern lights are more up northern, Alaska, Wisconsin, Canada, up in that way. You can see the northern lights. I've always, and it's kind of crazy, as my birthday, I've always wanted to see the northern lights. And so here's an area, what they're saying that you'll be able to see. So the red area, likely visible with the naked eye. The green area, which is in Utah, possible visible with the naked eye. So that'll be kind of cool. So I'm going to tonight be looking out as it gets dark. It'd be really cool. And here's some pictures that were taken. Oh, before we get to this video. And this was taken in India, I believe, I want to say. Somewhere on the eastern side, but really beautiful. Really beautiful. So I thought that was kind of wild that that's going on. So let me get to chat, and then I'm going to play this video that I found on Facebook that was just posted like about 30 minutes before I went live. And I wasn't sure if it was a parody or something of JP, but I think it is him. Now, why can't I get... Oh, there we go. Tom, good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone is having an awesome day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yes, of course, Mother's Day 2 days away. This guy is pretty calculated. Nothing about him surprises me. Happy birthday, Chris. I'm assuming you're talking about JP. Yeah, and we're going to talk about him, and that will be the focus of today's show. Gail, being very modest. You don't look a day over 25. Thank you so much, Gail. Big 4-1 today. June says, happy birthday to you. Maybe towards your new location drone software. Yes, we're trying to get some software about the drone. We'll kind of talk about that at the end of the show as well. But thank you so much, June. You are so awesome. And Wallflower, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. And I'll continue to get to chat, but let me get to this video here. So when I first saw this, if you haven't seen this, I thought this was a parody. And so I'm just going to play part of it. It's a 6-minute video. I'm going to play just a little bit now, and then we'll kind of discuss it and then kind of return to it. But because this is very concerning. Let me
Do
know
I
in the
need to
chat
call
if you
911?
if you guys have seen this or not.
Do I need to call the medics?
Turn that down just a little bit. So again, I was wondering, I'm like, is this JP or is this just some random clip somebody found on the internet and it looks like JP, or is this like a parody or something? And so I thought we could do, let's do the voice test, the JP voice test, the one that's like nails on a chalkboard to me, and let's compare the two.
Taxi, if you want to get there. And I pray for you, my enemies. I pray that you come to a place of repentance. I pray that you realize you're not hurting me, you're hurting the kingdom of God.
That's JP. Yeah, that's JP.
I pray that you realize you're not hurting me, you're hurting the kingdom of God.
Now that's disturbing on so many levels, because what the hell is he on? He claims some kind of medicine, a bad mixture of medicine or something. But I've never seen medicine like that for mental health that'll paralyze you. Not saying that, I'm not a doctor. I've been on beta blockers. I've been in, with depression and stuff, and been on different meds. But I've never been in that kind of state. He acts like he's, like half paralyzed, like having a stroke or something. And it makes you wonder, is this, we've heard that she was been giving, illegal drugs. Is this something that he ended up taking? And this is kind of like what she had to go through on some of the stuff that, he may have been giving her. And we'll come back to that video, but I just wanted to play a clip of it. But there's more. But yeah, it's very disturbing, and it makes you wonder: is this stuff that he was giving to her? But yeah, this is Micah Miller. So I'm gonna quickly just play a little recap of her story for anybody that's not familiar. I always like to do that when we're covering a case. So I'm just gonna play just a 2.5 minute video that kind of recaps, so I can get caught up with Chad as well. A 30-year-old woman who was energetic, full of life, and a loving sister and daughter. I agree. Something terrible. Recently, Micah had been dealing with a pending divorce with this man, former pastor John Paul Miller.
This is the worst sermon I've ever preached my whole life. I can't stand it. I just want to give the altar call and quit now. One day, listen, if you ever want to know what I'm going through in life, it's always about what I'm preaching about. God is so good to do that every single time.
Micah claimed that she had been dealing with many forms of abuse from John Paul, as mentioned in this clip.
Relationship, whether that's sexual.
That video, from what I understand, was 2015/2016, and we'll look up Facebook because it was just posted like 30 or 40 minutes before I went live. And the people were, of course, asking, when is this? What more context can we learn about this video? For right now, the last time I checked, she put 2015/2016. So, and we'll check back and see.
Whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are.
But sadly, on April 27th, just days after serving her husband with documents about a no-contact order, she was found dead in the Lumber River State Park. The cause of death, self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit, because I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And It was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me.
Many wondered with John Paul's shady past and her allegations, could this have been staged in something more nefarious? I mean, look at this history. I mean, that is terrible. I mean, half of the, well, not half, but a good portion mentioned minors. I mean, it's terrible. And more than once. A lot of these are 2 times, you know, a lot of stuff I can't even really say without, you know, YouTube flagging certain words, but DV, bodily harm, physical contact, contributing to minors. I don't know how this guy was a pastor. Her family was adamant that she was not a woman who was acting like she was going to take her own life. And recently, Micah stated, "If I end up with a bullet in my head, it was JP," referring to John Paul Miller. So what actually happened on the 27th of April? According to recently released documents, it seems that 11 a.m. Micah is captured on ring cam at her residence leaving her home. She is then captured on surveillance at a nearby pawn shop around noon, purchasing a 6-hour 9mm along with a box of bullets. After purchasing the gun, Micah would then head to the Lumber River State Park, which is just over an hour drive. Sadly, it's believed she arrived to her final destination sometime before 3 p.m. At 2:54 p.m., Micah would make a 911 call from her cell phone.
Robeson County 911.
I want to pause this. Somebody mentioned, so I don't know if we get time, if you want me to look this up, I will, and I can run an audio enhancer, but somebody says there's a male voice that can be heard on her side at some point in the 911 audio. So if you guys want me to run the, you know, the audio enhance, I could do that and see if we can actually hear what someone claims. We don't know, but I just saw someone claiming that. Anyway, so here's a 911 call. I kind of edited it, but we can listen to the whole thing later on.
What's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Yeah, she hung up the phone. The dispatcher attempted to reconnect with Micah multiple times, but she did not answer her phone. At 3:03 p.m., Robeson County deputies were dispatched to the state park for a well-being check and to locate Micah. After requesting a phone ping and more deputies arriving on location, they started using a drone and other resources in an attempt to locate Micah. But while conducting an aerial search, detectives were approached by a person who said they had found a bag while fishing with Micah's ID inside. This person said I think I've also heard, but I can't confirm this because it wasn't in the report. There was also a Bible. Again, that's unconfirmed, but I heard that there was also a Bible, which that wouldn't surprise me if, you know, if this was just her and this, you know, even if this was just her and there was no direct foul play, you know, we talked about the Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter, the HBO documentary where, you know, she had basically, her boyfriend, you know, ended up taking his life and she was there texting him, you know, telling him, you know, I love you now, you know, take your life. You know, and at one point he got out of the truck because he had was dying through taking his life through carbon monoxide, and at one point got out of the truck because he was feeling sick, and then she texted him, you know, I love you, now get back in the truck, basically, and that's where the phrase comes, I love you, now die. And yeah, she was found guilty, even though she wasn't directly involved, she was indirectly through text messaging. So, had heard crying and then a gunshot. After hearing the gunshot, they traveled further where they had discovered a bag 2 feet from the water's edge. At 4:23 p.m., another individual called 911 to say he had located a body in the water. This person had been fishing in his kayak when he had found Micah Miller's body. At about 6 p.m., The ME was contacted, along with CSI collecting evidence from the scene. Multiple items were collected from Micah's Honda Accord, which included a 6-hour gun case and a box of ammo. Further investigation showed that Micah searched national parks near me on her phone, and Lumber River State Park came up. At around 7:11 p.m., they discovered the 6-hour 9mm in the water. The serial number matched the one Micah had purchased earlier that day. So where was former pastor John Paul Miller during this time frame? According to the investigation, John Paul had traveled to Charleston for a sporting event on the day prior, on April 26. He supposedly stayed the night there and has an alibi. He was also spotted by a license plate reader around the time of the incident, traveling with other people. So it seems the allegations of his direct involvement were unfounded, but the statements made by Micah prior to this and her family firmly believing she would not take her own life certainly raised red flags. So many concerns. There's reports that her body was cremated, and that's very concerning because the biggest thing is, and this is because of John Paul Miller, that's what he wanted. And of course, I believe the family didn't want that, probably wanted an autopsy and everything else, toxicology. To me, if he wasn't directly involved, I would certainly have wanted to preserve the body, not for an autopsy report as well, but the biggest thing, toxicology. Was he trying to hide something up that had been in her system, prior to that? And then, we see that video I played earlier. We'll see that. I'll play that whole clip. I just wanted to play a part of it and then kind of build on the story. And then, of course, there's another video that was released on News Nation about that incident where, he showed up after she had to replace a tire and that there was a tracking device. That video has been released, so we'll look at that as well. So anyway, that's just a recap of the story that we know. Of course, there's a lot of shady stuff that happened in between. This forward. Now, according to him, this is what she was diagnosed with. Again, we don't know for sure, but this is what he claims: bipolar 2, schizophrenia, dependent personality disorder. Again, that's what he claims. So we know that she filed for divorce in October.
Gave her his
and then I think in February, it looked like maybe they were going to try to patch things up, but then it seems like shortly after that, things fell apart. Of course, we know that it seems like he was cheating on her with several other women. Here's a waitress that came forward talking about where he had left her a tip and his phone number, and this happened 2 months prior to October 2023. And then, of course, when they texted, she said that, he wanted bikini photos. Sounds like a creep.
Not new, LOL.
News Nation has also been able to confirm with a friend of Micah's that her family plans to file some kind of a lawsuit against Pastor Miller, despite the 911 call and medical examiner's report.
Yes, gunshot residue, right. Again, there's always a possibility someone could have been there. And yeah, gunshot residue, typically, for anybody that doesn't know, when you have a gun and you pull the trigger, gunshot residue comes out of the gun. Usually, if you're close to a body, or if the gun is close to the body, when it ejects around, whatever direction it's facing, it will shoot out gunshot residue. So, the person should have gunshot residue where the wound is at, but also it blows back as well. So if you're holding the gun, and you're right-handed, you should have gunshot residue on your right hand. Usually in those cases, what they'll even do is, whether the body is alive or not, they will, as they're securing the body, they'll actually put, some kind of cover on the hands. So that way they can go and test, for gunshot residue.
Report appearing to corroborate his story, Hannah.
The details just get more and more confusing. Emily, thank you so much for shedding light on this case.
So last time we went live, we went over some new FOIA reports that came out. I'm going to just recap a few as we go along because there's a lot of new stuff to go over. But this one's the February 21st of this year. This is where supposedly on February 8th to February 10th, she was placed in a hospital due to her mental health. Excuse me. And her car was parked at the Walmart when she got out of the hospital and went to go, to her car at Walmart. The car was gone. Her purse and keys were gone. And that was from what it says here is the husband picked up her purse and the keys and took the vehicle. And anything else I forget. Now, she claimed that the husband fraudulently initiated this involuntary hospitalization, and then on top of that, stole her car. So there was a report made. Now, they claim because they were married that the car itself is marital property, so, it's kind of a gray area there. Let's see, anything else in this report? Oh, yeah, he goes on to state that she had episodes, and that these episodes were annual, near Christmas time, which sounds ridiculous. And during this time, she becomes reckless and spends large amounts of money and stops taking her medication. So this only happens around Christmas time. I guess that's what happens with her mental disorder, which sounds ridiculous.
Horrible thing we can.
So then when you go to February 25th, of course, it seems like he used his services as a platform to kind of air out the dirty laundry, which is
facing
just
our
disgusting.
Bodies, and pride is probably the most horrible thing we can face in our spirits. And here's why. When you're mentally ill, it's the one sickness you have that you don't know you're sick. And you have to trust people around you because you're saying, no, they're lying to me. They're telling me I need medicine. I don't need medicine because the thing that's sick is your mind. And your mind is what you need to realize that you're sick. One day I'm going to preach about getting rich, strong, healthy, and finding a hot wife that loves Jesus. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just kidding. That was wrong. I told you I shouldn't be here today.
Now, keep in mind, this is March 10th. Now, we're going to see a video that was released just barely on News Nation about the incident that happened right after this day. So we have this service where he's, talking about, oh, yeah, new hot wife, while he's married.
I told you. Last year, my wife, they went to Africa, had a wonderful trip, amazing trip. And she came back with the idea to start a school in Africa. And 6 weeks ago, she goes in the hospital, gets out, and just leaves. Just completely leaves me, leaves everything, drains the bank account, and goes. And guess what? While you're talking bad about me out there, I'm building a school in Africa for over 100 kids to be able to be fed. The elders walked out.
So Shauna, Michelle, her body was found, so she went to that state park. Her body was found in the water, so I'm assuming maybe she was standing in or near the body of water. This is according to the report. And then she took her life. She shot herself. The body went into the body of water. And then there's some other people, obviously, at the park. One was in a kayak. Another one was nearby where he had reported he heard some crying and then heard a gunshot. And I believe that's when the first guy had found her ID in the bag of water, or in a bag that was in the water. And then a kayaker was the one that found her body. But on March 11th is when we had this incident where she had reported her tires had been slashed. They met her at her residence, and she explained what happened. And she said this was the second time it happened. She said it happened once the week prior, so this is the second time it happened in a week period. And she found a razor that deflated her tire. She said she was driving and heard a pop, and then noticed a piece of metal was protruding from the tire. And then by the time she got home, she realized it was fully deflated. So from there, she went to go get the tire fixed at East Coast Honda. We've heard this report a couple times. Now we have the video to kind of back up, because apparently while she was there, he showed up. And so here's the video of that.
To South Carolina, to South of News Nation.
Here we go.
News Nation obtaining this exclusive video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman and her estranged husband just weeks before her death. Investigators have ruled 30-year-old Micah Miller's death a suicide. But her family and friends tell News Nation there's much more to what actually happened, especially since Miller had just recently filed for divorce. News Nation's Rich McHugh has looked into this story since the very beginning, joining us live with the latest developments. Rich, what can you tell us?
Hi, Alex. So first, we need some context so our audience can better understand that moment and what they were seeing. We FOIA'd a number of documents from the police. We got back a whole treasure trove from the Myrtle Beach Police Department, about 14 different police reports filed in the past 2 years, many of them within the past 3 months. There's 2 in question that were filed on March 11th of this year, so just about 2 months ago. I want to read from them directly. They say, police officers respond to East Coast Honda. That's what we see in the video. She's at East Coast Honda in Myrtle Beach in reference to harassment, that Micah was getting her tire fixed after it was slashed, that she told the officer of the tracking device on her car, that the suspect showed up, quote, she told him to go away, but she does not want to talk. And then when she pulled out her phone to record, he sped off. The victim then leaves and goes to East Coast Honda. Again, this is what we're about to see. And the suspect showed up again. That appears to be this moment at East Coast Honda. Let's roll that tape.
Away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
That's absolutely disgusting. Especially if she did suffer from some mental health at all, to threaten to post whatever stuff on social media. Truly, you got to be an evil person.
Walk away.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to back that up. Play that one more time.
At East Coast Honda, let's roll that tape.
Away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours.
And apparently he had a lot of her devices and access to her accounts, to her accounts, and would post stuff. And we know that there was one where he ended up posting a nude photo of her, and this is not long before she took her life, probably adding to, all this trauma.
Walk away.
Now, this video, for people that have been watching this is a window into the nightmare that she had been living. She had told the police officer in that police report that day that she was afraid for her life, and we're seeing why. She's telling him to walk away. He's saying he's threatening to post pictures on Facebook. He's presumably tracked her to that location. We're going to be asking the police for answers on if they have done any follow-up to these allegations that she has made.
Yeah, really alarming stuff, and great work getting all those documents, Rich. I know it's painted a much different picture than what we've heard over the past.
Thank you for watching. Go
Sounds like my ex is triggering.
Hey, everybody.
So, and then, because I was trying to kind of put stuff in chronological order like I did, I was talking about my last live, if you guys were here, mixed in with the FOIA reports that had been released. And just to kind of paint a better picture, there was a lot of stuff going on. Originally she had filed for divorce, and it seemed like they were going to maybe patch things up in February, but then it seems like that all went to hell pretty quickly, and then a bunch of things were filed, and then eventually one for no contact order, and then divorce
Hey, everybody.
papers.
I just want to let you know that I'm alive and well, and life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks.
And keep in mind, this was March 18th, so this would have been 1 week after that incident with the tires and them finding a device in her car. And we'll get to that video where JP's laying on the ground, and I'll play the whole thing. It is quite disturbing.
And life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks, months, years. But I've kind of had to keep my circle really small for the past couple weeks, just because I'm going through a lot and it's hard, and it's my cross to bear. It's the thing that God has put in my life to deal with, and I don't want to bring a lot of people into it. I'm so thankful to God for a strong family and the friends that God has put in my life to be there for me at this time.
All right, so we'll go forward here.
Psychological abuse, making you think that...
So now, and we have this post, which is on March 24th.
Good people in the church.
March 22nd.
Whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs.
So keep in mind, look at her face when she says illegal drugs, and then we're going to watch that video of JP on the ground that clearly something's not right.
Or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are.
So then we have the, let's see, which one is this? So this is another one of the tracking devices. So this was 2 days later, or no, excuse me, 4 days later, from that video on 3/26, where they were dispatched to her house, where she complained that she had found another tracking, or a tracking device. I don't know if this is the second or third one, because there's like three, it seems like there's 3 tracking devices incidences. So this may have been the second one, because this is dated the 24th. It says 3/26, so maybe they put in the narrative there. But anyway, it says 3/24 here. That's dated 3/26 here. That's interesting. But either way, yeah. So another tracking device on her black Honda Civic. And then, sorry, that went poor. Report went a little quick. She claims that her soon-to-be ex is the one that planted it, and they arrived there and noticed that that there was a tracker underneath the back bumper between the 2 wheel wells, attached by magnets under the chassis of the vehicle. Prior to the arrival, the tracker was removed. However, on the back of the bumper, a handprint appeared to be male. It seems to be her and somebody else, but the person that she was with, they had smaller hands than the handprint. But yeah, another tracking device. Again, I don't know if that's number 2, because then we have another one that'll pop up here. And then just a few days after that, we got 3/27, where, this is a report by him where he claims that he's being harassed on social media. What a joke this is. Here we just saw him threatening about posting stuff on social media, right? We just saw him, and that was March 11th. And then what we got, so about 2 weeks later, where he's now calling law enforcement saying that he's being harassed by his wife on social media. So ironic. And anyway, so they look into it and realize, oh, well, they see this video that we watched a part of. She obviously doesn't mention any names. She just kind of talks about her experience. We can all assume who she's hinting towards. But they find that there's, nothing wrong here because she didn't name him. And then they go on to say, I got to read this part because I thought it was hilarious. So the detective had no text or proof of harassment and was advised Mr. Miller to block any further social media from his wife, and he was also advised not to look at her page since it upset him. The way they word that's hilarious. The CP mentioned defamation of character, but again, she never mentioned anybody's name. She just talked about what she was experiencing. So again, they didn't find any wrongdoing. Again, I have to refer back to, his little stunt that he just did, weeks prior to that on March 11th, where he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be posting stuff on social media on Facebook. So, talk about on the kettle black. So we'll move on here. And then of course, April 8th, so about a week and a half later, is when her ex-husband, obviously JP, had access to her Facebook account and others, and he had posted a nude photo of her, and it was titled Big Boobs and Nice Curves, and tagged her old Facebook account that he had access to. And she said that she had sent this photo to him 6 months ago. He is the only one that has access to this photo. So it was clearly him. And we talked about this in a previous live, how, there's been a lot of people that have taken their own lives because they've either been blackmailed or embarrassed, where their photos are put on social media like Facebook, and they end up taking their lives. And it's disgusting. I feel really bad. Watson upgraded the membership. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Shay. You are so awesome. I just put out stuff for my Patreons and my members. That was the search for Aiden Clune, part 1, for the May search, the last search that we just did. But there's much more to come. So I posted those videos for the members and Patreons early this morning. I tried to get out yesterday, but when you're working with drone footage, the files are super big, and sometimes it just takes longer for to process the videos. Then we have 415 a week later. Again, so I'm assuming this is the third tracker. She says she located a heavy tracker on her vehicle, wants to turn it over as evidence. Now, I remember the first one she did turn over. And it goes on to say she notified the officer that the two were still married. He had ownership of the vehicle. The tracker was reportedly found on the black and color Honda Civic. This is not the first time she has found a tracker on her vehicle. To me, going by the reports, it seems like this is the third one. And that's about it with this report. That's 415. And let's see, she took her life on the 27th, so 415. That's 12 days prior. Of course, then the sister had posted this stuff.
To start seeking.
So the attorney for the sister, who has been outspoken since this mess has started, and she went on News Nation, and this interview is very interesting. I think this talks a little bit about the cremation and some other things. And then what do you guys want to see this, or you guys want to see the video of JP and how he's acting? I almost want to play that first and then come back to this. I think we'll do that. That way I can read chat for a minute, and then we'll play that. So, again, when I first saw this, I didn't know what to think of this, because I thought this was like a parody or just somebody else. But this is JP. We did the voice comparison earlier. This is very disturbing. So I'm just warning you now. I'm going to play it now.
You okay? Huh?
At first, I thought this person was having like a stroke or something.
You okay? What's the matter? Huh? What's the matter?
I switched my medication. Makes me go crazy.
Is somebody helping you?
I think Mark's coming to get me.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to see Jesus.
Thought I was going to see Jesus.
But you got Mark coming?
Somebody called him, I think.
Okay.
I feel like he had to bite me.
So,
Because he had to bite me everywhere.
is your medication something they gave you?
Yes, I'm a drug.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what medication he was given to cause this. Anybody has any ideas? Again, I've taken some beta blockers through depression. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I mean, he's acting like he's half paralyzed. Is this part for attention? Or is this part of some illegal drugs that he accidentally took?
You want me to make sure Mark's coming?
Yeah, all I know is find out my phone's on me.
But somebody's called him, right?
Yeah, the lady across the street called.
Okay. All right.
What they're saying, and we'll look at this. I'll go and look at the video because it was posted like 30 minutes before I went live. Somebody had said it was around 2015, 2016. So approximately 8 years ago. I don't know for sure though.
Hey JP, I think Mark is coming. I had him try to get in touch with me again to make sure. Is that okay? Huh?
Ants fight me. There's ants all over me.
Feels like there's ants on you? There's no ants on you though. It's just, maybe that's how you feel, but there's none on you. There's none on the grass. What kind?
Does anybody know that any kind of mental medication would cause this kind of? I mean, to me, it seems like he's claiming there's ants crawling on him, like a hallucination. Hallucinogen.
What kind of medicine do they have you on?
Yeah. What? What?
What kind of medicine do they have you on?
I heard drunk, but I can't make that. I'll play it one more time.
What kind of medicine do they have you on?
I have no idea. I know the voice. I know. We talked about
well, somebody's
how I feel about
gonna come.
This
Okay.
voice.
Do I need to call 911? Do I need to call the medics? Yeah, we got somebody coming. You want some water or anything?
Me again. I'm not. an expert. I'm not a doctor. This doesn't appear to be like normal, like prescribed medication. I know you can have some very serious side effects, but yeah, this is bad.
You want some water? Yeah, he said okay if you got a little bottle of water.
This was posted on the Facebook group Justice for Micah.
I don't know. I think they changed his medication or something, he said. And he said like ants was crawling on him and stuff. So I got somebody coming to. Okay. Yeah.
Jesus.
Over across the street. Back over here. Oh, okay. So. Well, let me know if I can do anything for him. Okay, I think he's. Here's some water, JP.
And it looks like this guy was behind the wheel before this happened. You want me to do a poll? We could do a poll real quick. Try to pull. And turn this down for a second. Okay, when I have my thing set, I can only have 2 answers, so it's either going to be yes, no. So for the no's that are not sure, I apologize. I can only do right now. Oh, I guess I... Sorry, guys. Okay. Boop. All right. Anyway, there's a little bit more of this. It's almost over.
Okay, you want to try to sit up? You want to try to sit up, or you want to put it to your mouth, or what?
I'll be out in a few minutes if you need anything else.
Okay. Is that enough? You want more?
Is acting to have a DUI.
I can't stop making noises in the morning when I wake up.
When did he marry Micah? 2016?
If Mark can't make it quick, you want me to get your mom over here?
I don't want my mom anywhere. They're jerks. They're crazy. I always tell everybody to get on medication, and this is what it does. They're crazy.
Yeah, he keeps mentioning the medication, but yeah, I think, in my opinion, he's under the influence of something. Is it mixed? You know, there's obviously some allegations that obviously Micah was being given, illegal drugs. Of course, we have to say allegations, be careful, but if that is possibly true, could this be what she was given in the sense. Yeah, that high voice pitch crying. We talked about that when I first heard him do his thing, and that drives me absolutely nuts. When a man fake cries like that.
I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't do nothing. I feel like I got ants in my eyes. I can't open up my eyes.
He's got ants in his eyes. Yeah, I don't know. How embarrassing though, like neighbors are out. Again, it looks like he just got out of his truck. I hope to God he wasn't driving around before that. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, in your opinion, attention seeking. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. It would not surprise me if that was some kind of bad cocktail of something. And anyway, yeah, we'll look at that video here in a little bit, but let's see what the family was saying. So they were recently on here. Let me go back to where with the lawyer. And then also the I don't know if it's lawyers for JP. We'll look at it here in just a minute as well. They put out a statement. Like again, I'm not sure if it's for the church or JP. We'll look at it because I just saw that they were posted, so I screenshotted those. Apparently, those have backfired so badly that they had to take them down. I believe they were originally on the church's site, I believe. And again, it supposedly backfired really bad. And we'll read what it said, but apparently it pissed a lot of people off. So we'll look at that. So I'm going to play this, get caught up with chat as well. So let's see what you guys said. Well, it's kind of even. 55% think he was faking it. 45% no, he's under the influence. So about 50-50 about where people stand on that. I lean a little more towards I think he's under the influence of something, which is scary because, again, is that something that was given to her? I mean, because this is what the family has, and her herself had alleged that she was given, illegal drugs. So let's play the interview. I think this is about 4 minutes. And then I'll get the report from the lawyers.
We were going to try to
look at
start
that.
seeking a civil action attorney to consult with to see if some of the documents that we have found, or not found, but that Micah left in my care, as well as her family also had found, there seems to me that there could be a civil action, not against the police. The police, under the circumstances, responded, I think, appropriately under what was happening at the time. But there are other things that happened that are related to this church. She was employed there. There's a question about whether she was appropriately paid for her time. She was the church itself was used by John Paul. I have letters that he wrote on church stationery to her, basically disparaging her. He went after everything that meant anything to this young woman. And I want to go back to the question about, what else this could have been if he didn't actually pull the trigger. This man, in my opinion, based on the documents, my conversations with Micah whenever she was alive, tell me that she was brainwashed by this man. He abused her in every possible way that there is. Financially, he abused her by taking away things, phones, access to money, took away her car, those types of things to try to gain control of her. Every time she tried to leave him, he would harass and stalk her to the point that she just felt like she had to give up and go back. And he abused her not only emotionally, financially, he abused her religiously in terms of her religion.
And he used his services as a platform to kind of air out his dirty laundry, which is just absolutely disgusting.
Her relationship with God, he demeaned her in every aspect that he could. There is a video of a sermon of him that I was just so taken aback, and my jaw hit the ground because I felt like I had come across the answer of maybe why she would have taken it this far. And that is, he had her convinced that this was what she should do. In my opinion, I believe he had her convinced that it would be the only way that she could escape him to some degree. I believe that he had her convinced all the way. I believe that he used every tactic and tool that he could.
And yeah, right after her death, he was seen with another woman, laughing. They were at, I can't remember exactly where they're at. You can remind me in chat. But yeah, it didn't seem like he was, mourning her death at all. He's already out. Clearly seems to have moved on.
The mounds of paperwork that I have is incredible. She collected a lot of things. She kept a notebook. I have boxes of journals, which, by the way, he's made 100 phone calls looking for, as I understand.
Oh, wow.
And he is constantly trying to stay in front of this, spin some some story. And I think we have enough here that...
With that evidence, I'm curious. I'm sorry to jump in, Regina, but Sierra...
No, just real quick for anybody who doesn't know the people. Sierra is on the left. That is, I believe, Micah's oldest sister, but she's been the one that's been, obviously kind of working behind the scenes, helping her sister's cause. And then on the right is the lawyer.
Do you think you can shed some light on why your sister told the police that John Paul had been grooming her since the age of 10, but that her, her involvement with the church only began at age 14 in the youth program? Do you know what the difference is between those two claims?
If I had to assume, I would guess that she probably meant 2010, not 10. Since 2010 would be a better estimate of what she might have meant.
So, yeah, that's nice that they cleared that up. Still, 14, 15, that's still when he supposedly kind of started, we have to use allegedly, but supposedly started allegedly grooming her. But yeah, she clears that up, saying that she probably meant 2010, not at 10 years old. Tom says to the previous video, he's acting like he's on fentanyl. Honestly, I've never seen what happens with people on fentanyl, so I couldn't agree or disagree, but I do think that, in my opinion, I don't know if it might have been part fake and then part real, that he's like just trying to get attention, but I think he's still messed up. But I think it's actually probably a combination of the two. Naomi, thank you so much. The problem is that law enforcement doesn't believe you. I was pregnant and I was hit nonstop with, I'm so sorry, abuse with my daughter, was born with handicaps, so I get it. I am so sorry, Naomi. That it's so terrible. I hope things have gotten better. That's terrible to hear. Tom doubles down. That's Fent. Watch fentanyl OD videos after his life. Yeah, I've never seen anybody on fentanyl or anything like that. So that's exactly how they act. They get hot and dry mouthed. They can't stand up. The KC3 incident, right? The Kansas City Men 3. I'll have to check that out, Tom. Thank you again so much for the donation. Interesting. He has been tranquilized, yep, for a wrong diagnosis. Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, I agree. I do think I think it is a little bit of both acting, but I think he was messed up on something. Jocelyn, hope you're having a wonderful birthday, Chris. Thank you so much. To all my wonderful mods, you guys are so amazing. And to everybody being here, taking the time out of the day, watch the show. We still got a lot to go over. We got Jinxie in the house saying happy birthday with the $5 donation. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so amazing. And we'll have an announcement at the end of the show because and Copper Horse, thank you so much for your PayPal as well. I'll thank you.
Yeah, I don't think
And that
that
lines
she
up
ever
with being
said
age
10
14?
years old.
No, she's consistently said around 14, 15 years old. I've never heard her ever say 10 years old.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to
So-
find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below.
You all right, man?
Okay, so we watched this. So let's look at the report that came out that supposedly backfired. I have not been able to read this yet because it just posted. So let's look at this. So law offices of Russell B. Long posted May 9th. Clarification regarding the passing of Micah Miller. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Law officers of Russell B. Long. On behalf of our client, Pastor John Paul Miller, issues this press release to clarify the circumstances surrounding the tragic passing of Micah Miller. Oh boy. Can't wait to read this. Let me get it nice and big so everybody can see it as well. This, from what I understand, just came out, and I have not read it. Following the untimely death of Micah Miller, unfounded rumors of false accusations began circulating on social media and in various media outlets, suggesting Pastor Miller's involvement in her demise. This created a buzz, causing local and national media outlets to begin proliferating these falsehoods on a mammoth proportion. Our client refutes any report that suggests he ever abused his wife. Recent reports claim that Pastor Miller groomed his wife from the age of 10 years old. Now, they have clarified that she probably meant 2010. Couldn't be farther from the truth. She moved to Myrtle Beach at age 15, which she said 14, 15 is when he came into his life. Was married to another man at age 18 and divorced at the age of 21. And it's come to light that Micah Miller struggled with mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder. Oh, and then don't forget the annual diagnosis, around Christmas time, the money spending. We got to blame that on mental illness. What a joke. Again, Micah suffered from mental illness, and some reports made her in the recent past are nonsensical. These unfortunate reality underscores the importance of disseminating mental health issues Oh, actually, I read that wrong. Destigmatizing, I'm sorry. I thought it was a different word. Destigmatizing mental health issues and ensuring those affected receive appropriate support and treatment. That's a word I don't see often. Destigmatizing. Interesting. We wish to emphasize that after a thorough investigation by Robeson County, North Carolina Sheriff's Office has been conclusively determined that Mrs. Miller's death was the result of self-inflicted gunshot wound. This finding completely exonerates Pastor Miller of any wrongdoing. I don't know. These baseless claims and false reporting have caused immense distress and harm to Pastor Miller and his family and needs to stop immediately. There's more. We hereby demand that all individuals and media outlets cease and desist from perpetrating these harmful falsehoods. Any further dissemination of defamatory and libelous statements will be met with legal action. A complete inventory of those defamatory and libelous statements have been conducted. So they're taking names. Those that have to date violated Pastor Miller's right to live in peace and to mourn the passing of his wife. Oh, he has definitely been out there mourning his wife. We can definitely tell that. That's a crock of shit. Respectfully will be held accountable. Those that choose to allow any previously posted or published false statements about Pastor Miller to remain in public domain can expect to be served with civil litigation against them individually. And when appropriate, their media organizations and managerial supervisors can expect the same. We all have the right to free speech. Ooh, glad he said that. Yes, we do. But not that speech which is false. It's a gray area there, but yes, you do need to be careful. And harmful to the subject of that speech. Many media outlets have reached out to Pastor Miller for comment, and we all direct all future requests for comment be directly to the attorney Russell Long at his Myrtle Beach office. We appreciate your cooperation and respect of Pastor Miller's right to grieve and mourn. Oh yeah, we've seen him grieving and mourning of his wife's passing without undue interference or slander. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, we have right to free speech, but there is, certain ways to go about it. You always want to be careful on certain terms. We always try to use allegedly. We try to stick with facts here, although we do speculate because there is free speech. And, but yeah, to me, I think there's a lot of shady stuff in his background that definitely warrants a closer look. And then with having her body cremated is very concerning because the biggest thing I'm concerned about is a toxicology report. Was he trying to hide something in the toxicology report? Yeah, we talked about the alibi, Anita. Yes, I mean, he physically did have an alibi. He was out in Charleston, left the day before on April 26th. It's a sporting event, and then I think the next day, license plate reader caught him. I'm assuming they posted this around the time that the incident with her happened. So yeah, he himself has an alibi, but what they're basically trying to get at is, even though if it was her that pulled the trigger, was she, forced to this point by mental and physical or mental abuse and whatever, they dig up is, what the family is going after. And again, I just wanted to say Copper Horse sent me a very sizable PayPal. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. We are going to be going out and searching for another missing person. May even be next week. So we may talk about that. Maddie's mom gifting one Mob Crew membership. Looks like Rebecca Medley got that. That is so awesome. We just put out, I just talked earlier, we put out some stuff for the members and Patreons. And we'll have plenty more of that stuff coming. I've got tons of behind-the-scenes content. Crochet A, I hope I pronounced that right, with the $10 donation. Thank you so much. Carolyn, good to see you. Flag Girl with the birthday coffee. I love coffee. Thank you so much for the $5 and the birthday wishes. You guys are truly amazing. June with birthday boy, happy 41. Thank you so much, June. You guys are truly, truly amazing. I think we're caught up here. Do you guys want me to break down the 911 call? I'm a little split on it because I didn't hear anything, but it's not to say there isn't something there. I think this is more that she was pushed over the edge, but we know that, you know, she was supposedly being followed. We know he was tracking her, you know. I'm kind of 50-50 on direct involvement, but as in indirect involvement, I think there's definitely enough there to warrant an investigation, in my opinion. And it seems that the family is pursuing that. Miss Homie's alibis can be bought, and I believe that JP, that's what JP did here. He's going to get what's coming to him sooner or later. Possibly. And if he is guilty in any sense of the, when it comes to this case, then I do hope that it does come to him. No, I don't. I'm not sure on the autopsy, to be honest. Let's look at the report. Let's see. Let's check the Facebook and let's see. So that video, remember I was talking about. So here it is. So it says 2015, 2016. It says getting a taste of your own medicine. Let's look at the comments here. Let's see if we know any more. This says video 2015, 2016. Surprised more people haven't commented on this video. I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, whoa. Could this be what she was dealing with or given? Oh, now people are reposting it now. Let's see if there's anything about the cremation. Anyway, I don't see that. Oh, geez. Okay. Super late. Let's check Twitter real quick. Anything else on her? Yeah, the attorney. Yeah, so John Miller had his wife, Micah Miller, cremated. A second autopsy was not... Okay, so there was an original autopsy because the second autopsy was not performed. So I do hope they have a toxicology report. Oh, so maybe they did get toxicology. So if they were able to perform an original autopsy, so maybe they did. I would think if there was at least one autopsy, they would have gotten blood, urine sample, or whatever, you know, at the very least blood samples. Hair samples, stuff like that. So actually, that's good. I missed that that part about at least one autopsy being performed. So that's good. So yeah, Wanda, there was an autopsy. We just looked that up. All right, trying to got up to chat. Yeah, an autopsy take a long time. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a two-part live where we were going to talk about Riley Strand because, you know, we covered Riley Strand's case, and the toxicology report is done. And as a matter of fact... So here it says Riley Strand's toxicology report is complete. Medical examiner says. The spokesperson, you know, Chris Dingham, you know, amazing guy. I love, you know, for someone that's kind of out there for the media, for the family. I think Chris is the perfect guy. You know, his demeanor and everything is amazing. For those who know what I'm talking about. He said it was weird. He mentioned Mother's Day, which I thought it was kind of odd. But we now know that they have hired lawyers, I think at the law firm Morgan and Morgan. So that is interesting. It was reported that this toxicology report was supposed to come out this week. But there were some saying because now that they have representation, now everything has to go through the law firm. So that could jam it up, and maybe the release of the toxicology along with the second autopsy, basically his full report will come out at the same time, but it may be pushed back now. Because I was kind of hoping that it might have been today, because today's Friday. So yeah, that's a great question, Angela. Was John Miller allowed to make decisions on her body? She was divorcing him. Why didn't the family take her? That is a great question. And I'm sure there's probably going to be some more interviews with the family. Actually, let's check YouTube and see if there's any. Oh, not YouTube. If there's any new interviews, especially with News Nation. 21 hours ago, 8 hours ago. Nope, just the Banfield one. Oh, I don't see anything, but we'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, we'll play that one little clip of him one more time. So remember, a week after he puts this happens, he goes on social media to post photos of her.
It's a video of a heated argument between a South Carolina woman. Part of what actually happened. Since
we need some context so our audience can better understand that moment and what they were seeing. Many of them within the past 3 months. There's 2 in question that were filed on March 11th. Harassment to East Coast Honda. Again.
Okay, here we go.
Away.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
Now,
oh yeah, don't forget that's. Remember, a week later he, because she had posted that video where she talks about the drugs and stuff, and then remember he goes to the cops to report, to complain that she's that he's being harassed because of a video that she put out. But here he is 2 weeks prior to that, saying that he's going to post stuff to social media and her Facebook. So what a piece of work he is. Yeah, somewhere, not to switch back to cases, but yeah, on the Riley Strand thing of things, the particular case that the law firm that they picked up thought was interesting. They may think they picked them up for possibly suing the bars and or other stuff, but let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we've been going for an hour and a half. Yeah, the divorce was dropped, but then she reserved him just before she passed away. So yeah, what a mess. Yeah, again, I agree, Michaela. How did he get that right? Because it's husband, wife. I mean, if he was able to get her admitted to that hospital for 2 days. Again, I've never been married, so I don't know all the the details behind that and how that works. Yeah, toxicology can take several months. I mean, looks like we're just barely going to get back Riley Strain, and that was his body was not found on March 22nd. So And today is May 10th, and they believe it's done. So that was what, a month and a half, approximately. Yeah, about a month and a half. Let me get to the last of this, and then I've just got a couple more things, and then we're gonna finish up here. Tracy Turner renewing her Mob Crew membership. Thank you so much, Tracy, for the support. You guys are amazing. I hope I got everybody's here. Again, if you're newer to the channel, I really appreciate it. If you can, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, so you get notified when we go live or I put out videos. I usually go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every other day, basically, unless there's breaking news. And then I'll usually put videos out in between those days, so I really try to mix it up. And then at the very least, once a week, I put out something for the Patreons and members as well. And then we try to have a members live at the end of the week. So we try to do a lot here, but we just got back looking for Aiden Clune about a week and a half ago. Actually, last week. Yeah, about a week and a half ago. And we are looking to go out possibly as early as next week to search for somebody. We haven't found a case yet, kind of looking around Utah or the surrounding states. My eyes pointed towards Arizona because there's so many people missing. But so that's something what we do with the funds that come in with your donations, PayPal, Venmo. We try to give back as much as we can by helping families. But anyway, I just wanted to mention this one more time. Some crazy solar flares that are going on. If you haven't heard, again, the sun goes through many cycles. I forget the exact time frame period, but I know it's like many years. I don't know if it's like a decade or something, but the sun goes through phases where it's very active, and then it takes years off, and then it's active again. And right now we just hit that part where it's active and it's at its like where it hits its peak. And anyway, we apparently just had a pretty big solar flare erupt. This is when, I'm sure there's more to it, but this is when the magnetic rings, the bands that you see, if you know what I'm talking about, they pop and they erupt with solar flares, which releases a lot of dangerous stuff, unfortunately, and could cause some, like the communication grid to go down. I'm sure we'll be fine, but what's cool is someone like myself, I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights. And where's the diagram? And so anybody in the red area will be able to see the Northern Lights tonight. If you're in the green, it says it's a good possibility. So New York to South Carolina, all the way Utah, Denver, Vegas, and north. Possibly tonight you'll be able to see the Northern Lights as well, which it's my birthday. That would be so cool to see the Northern Lights. It's something I've always wanted to see. Oh. Me too, AC. I think that's pretty wild. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes. But it's pretty wild. I love haunted places too. Awesome Flag Girl. We need as many people watching those drone videos because you never know. Sandra says Chris' whole story is strange. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Yeah, he doesn't seem like a very good guy. And maybe what I'll do, because I'd feel better doing off live, is I'll break down the 911 call. If I do hear something that's suspicious in the 911 call, I'll make a short video and I'll post it. Because I'd hate to keep playing back, especially around the parts where she's saying she's going to take her life. I'd feel kind of icky playing that part over and over, especially if that's where that's at. So, So I just want to say a quick special thanks to all my wonderful mods. You guys are so amazing. Some of you know that there's some other stuff going on behind the scenes, and we'll talk about that here real soon. I won't say nothing bad, but just to update the viewers on stuff that's going on. But there'll be appropriate time to do that. But I appreciate everyone's support. Getting caught up in chat here. Again, thank you all the birthday wishes. I wish I could get to every one of them. But you guys are amazing. Oh, so pet outros. So I want to play these so I don't forget. We've got Corey here. I'm going to work him in. We've got Oliver. So these are some of the pets, my viewers' pets here. This is Finn. This is Miranda Lee's. And her cat, Callie. And Charlie. Anyway, I'll play the rest of it, but I just wanted to show those. Oh, that's awesome, Wanda. It helps. You never know if we flew over Aiden Clune or not. So. Anna, thanks. First time here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the show. Again, I may do a live tomorrow and then a members live Sunday. So I'll try to post. If I go live, I'll post something as early as I can to warn the mods. But thank you, mods, so much for all your help and support. And to the rest of you guys, thank you so much. With that, I am going to head out. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Again, if you saw that map and you've never seen the Northern Lights and you're in that area, keep an eye out for the sky. I think that's going to be really cool to see. So, with that, I'm going to play the outro. Oh, and of course, yes, happy Mother's Day to the mothers. I was actually born on Mother's Day. My birthday sometimes lands on Mother's Day, like every 7 years. I don't know if it's an exact year, but once in a while it lands on Mother's Day, so it's kind of cool. So, with that, we're going to play the pets, and we'll get back to you guys tomorrow. Oh, that would be really cool, Carolyn. We'll have to talk to you about that. Thank you again for the birthday wishes.